What's going on, guys? It's another edition of the Sports Web here, of course, in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Mr. JP Peterson. After the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business today over the Chicago Bears here live from Raymond James Stadium, 27-17. Your overall thoughts? It's baking out here, and Baker Mayfield was baking today.
Yeah, this was a great complimentary win by the Buccaneers. The defense played tremendously well, held the Bears to, I believe, 236 yards of total offense, 60-some yards of rushing. They shut down just about everything the Bears wanted to do. Obviously, Justin Fields and the Bears have not been an offensive juggernaut. But, listen, you hold two teams to 17 points in this league. Obviously the Minnesota Vikings can score. You held them to 17 points. You held the Bears to 17 points here today. 6 overall sacks. I think they got 2 turnovers, including the game-deciding turnover from Shaq Barrett. We'll talk more about that. They were two whispers away from 2 more turnovers. It was an absolutely dominant defensive performance, and offensively, the Bucs were fantastic. 426 total yards, no turnovers for the second straight week. That's going to be winning football. I thought Baker played tremendously well. Sidearm throws, great deep ball to Mike Evans for the touchdown. He missed a couple throws, he'll tell you that. Some great escapes for him as well. Once again, playing winning football. It was a tremendous complimentary win, and this is as I asked Baker Mayfield afterwards, I said, Peter King said you guys were going to win 2 games this year. So I guess he was right. It happens to be the first 2 games. And I asked him, I said, does that fuel you? And he says, well, if you know anything about me and Peter, I guess they don't have a great relationship. He said, he doubts me all the time. And I said, is this fuel for you? And he says, absolutely. It's fuel for this team. Nobody thinks we're going to be a good football team, and the Bucs are 2-0.
Yeah,
2 big wins.
The Bucs are 2-0, of course, and not necessarily the best start defensively. You give up that drive there. Justin Fields goes in for the naked bootleg there, makes some plays down the field. But let's talk about Justin Fields and against this defense, because it looked like when he had time, he wasn't necessarily trusting his eyes. He wasn't trusting, reading a defense, going through his progressions. And it seemed like he had wide open receivers over the middle, missing them, holding the ball too long. And that's the reason why you got the sacks today. Yeah,
Todd Bowles kind of wore that first drive. He said he made a couple of bad calls. He had a couple of safety blitz and a corner blitz, I think, coming off the side. That opened it up. And I think he went to a much more conservative play calling after that, just trusting his defense and their ability to get home, which they did many, many times from a 4-man rush standpoint.
Yes.
Some other pressures. His defense was fantastic today. So that first drive was probably Todd. He admitted it. Yeah. Probably him trying to do too much. And then from that point on, I thought they were almost impregnable.
Yes.
That defense played
very
fantastic.
Good word. Leo word there wrong with JP
go.
Peterson here live from Raymond James Stadium. I'm your host, Peter Blake, on the Sports Web here. We got open phone lines if you want to get in. We're not going to stay out here for long, but if we get some calls, we definitely want to hear from you. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. You come back at the second drive. Big-time play down the field, or I actually should say Mike Evans, making things happen, doing a Michael Irvin, catching the ball and going 70 yards. Mike Evans, huge day here. What was his final statistics?
Well, Mike had a great day today. I think he was over 172 yards, I believe, for Mike today.
Yeah.
Tremendous. The 70-yard catch, happened right here. I think when Baker let that ball go, you got to give it a no shiz. And because the defensive back was in pretty good positions to make a play on that ball. Yeah. And Mike just kind of swatted his hand away, went up and took it. That's what big physical receivers do.
That's
it. And then the yak afterwards, Mike hasn't been the best at that in his career. I think I heard one of the guys say he had more yards after catch than he's ever had in his career. That was a tremendous play. Baker said something also.
Well, I tell you what, save that thought, because we'll go out to the phone lines here. Let's go out to David. David, welcome to the Sports Web live here on I Love St. Pete, the Hub, Amped Up Sports, Bucs Life, and of course now in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show. What do you got?
Hey, man, I definitely agree with you guys. They did play. I think the defense kind of remind me of the defense that we had back when we won the first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Obviously we don't have a lot of big names. We still got a lot of young guys. Tyron and Clancy, of course, didn't play. I think Logan did pretty good this week.
Yeah.
I think he got like a batted ball, and I think he almost got a sack too.
JT has 2 sacks in this game, by the way. So before we forget, and that was the big thing coming into the year. Yeah, big time. And then Shaq Barrett at the end. We'll talk about that in a moment. Go ahead, David.
But I think definitely Baker Mayfield's coming in his own. Back when he was available before the Rams picked him up, I was hoping the Bucs would pick him up. There's something about him. I think he's definitely got good leadership skills. It seems like he gets along with the players, and people want to play for the quarterbacks that they like, and they know that they could put their money where their mouth is. They're going to play for players like that. Just like back in the day with Joe Montana, he didn't have the biggest arm, but he was a smart quarterback, and he played his ass off.
Right, and we talked about this last week. I think you watched the game here, Dave. I mean, how many times did Baker Mayfield escape pressure and then go off and take off and run? And that's the aspect that this offense has had this year that they didn't have last year. And you got to think that offense and that defense loves it, loves that tough mentality, loves the fact that he's able to escape a sack. He's not just going to go down. He's not going to just throw the ball in the dirt. He's going to make things happen. And also, when he does get outside of the pocket, he can make some of those throws that, again, Baker Mayfield is known to make.
Yeah, I think this
team. It kind of reminded me with that sidearm throw of Patrick Mahomes. How he always does those sidearms or underhanded throws and stuff. He was about to get hit, and he said, "Well, I might as well try to get this play off," and he got a completed pass. So I mean, it was good.
Dave, thanks a lot for the call, man. We appreciate you as always.
Baker has this team. He really does. This team, you can just tell when you're around the team, they rally around him. On the sidelines, you hear him picking these guys up all the time. Maybe that wasn't so much the case last year.
Right.
This team was really fractured, I think, in a lot of different ways. It was dysfunctional. This team has so much a better team vibe this year.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the same page, and they'll follow Baker they'll run through a wall for this guy. That guy has Todd calls it moxie.
Okay.
He's got it. He's got a vibe to him that is a real winner.
Moxie, grit. We heard it all through the offseason, and now you start to see it on the field, and that's the reason why the Bucs chose him as a starting quarterback right now. We're live here from Raymond James Stadium after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers go to 2-0. They defeat the Chicago Bears 27-17. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with the great J.P. Peterson of the J.P. Peterson Show, which can be seen and heard 5 days a week, 10 to noon, so definitely tune in tomorrow as we will be live from the patio 5 to 7 there.
That's right. We'll do a Monday Night Football party.
Monday Night Football party.
Come on by and say hello.
So what else? Go ahead and finish your thought there. And the phone lines are up. I'm not going to give out the number. You know the number. What else did you learn from the press conference today?
Well, Shaq Barrett met the media, and as many of you know, in this offseason, his 2-year-old daughter died in a drowning accident, a tragic drowning accident. He had a big medallion on his chest with a picture of his daughter. He said it's interesting. He said last week he almost couldn't play the game. He was just overcome with emotion thinking about his daughter. He prayed on it. He's got tremendous faith, and it really has gotten him through this tragic time. He said he prayed on it. His wife prayed on it, and it kind of just went away. He was able to focus and go out and play the game. He said this week was better, and he was able to really lean on his faith to clear his mind, to go out and play. And he had a sack and then the interception to seal it. He's playing tremendous football under incredibly tragic situation. And these are things that, you start to see a little magic in this team. These things that are happening and to who they're happening to. I've covered a lot of different teams, and sometimes like last year, just things just from the very get-go with Brady, him not being at training camp. It's just everything went south.
Right.
Ryan Jensen getting hurt early on, and just one thing after another, and it just kind of snowballs one way. This Bucs team kind of feels like it's snowballing the other way. Doubts about Baker Mayfield. Look how he's played the first 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Doubts about Todd Bowles. Look how he's coached the first 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
Doubts about this team. Look how they've played the first
Doubts
2
about
weeks.
Dave Canales today. Play calling. We talked about that. I mean, what did you think about the selection of play calling there? Lots of third down conversion. Yeah, get yourself some water. I need to get myself a rag next time I come out here. I didn't realize how hot it was. And we kind of talked about that, JP, before the game, how this was going to be a home field advantage. And it certainly seemed like it was a home field advantage because that defense wilted in the second half. Would you agree?
The Bears defense?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely got worn down. And that's, the beauty of this offense. In 2 games, they've been very, very balanced. I think 33 runs today and 34 passes.
Again, the same thing last week. They had the
great
same
balance.
thing. Yeah.
And what that does, once again, a time of possession. I think the Bucs had +10 last week. They had +10 again today.
Wow.
In time of possession. It's much easier in this hot weather to play offense than it is to play defense. So that is a winning edge. And that's why, last year, Todd Bowles really didn't have control of the offense. That was a Brady and Leftwich thing. And he picked an offensive coordinator that is committed to running the football. Even though it wasn't great last week at 2.2 yards per carry, when you're running the football, you know what you're not doing? You're not dropping back. You're not taking sacks. You're not getting holding penalties.
Correct.
You're not throwing incompletions. You're not throwing interceptions. You're running the ball, and most of the time it's positive. Even if it's 2 or 3 yards, you're chewing clock. You're resting your defense. You're forcing the other team to be playing defense.
Yeah.
And that was definitely a winning edge. And I thought Rachaad White was tremendous today.
I did too.
They went to him on 3rd and goal from the 4, and he barreled his way in.
Right.
They went to him on 4th and 2 right here on a toss sweep, and he got outside and converted those times.
And we talked about that, how it went last year, how you couldn't. They were so bad when it came to 3rd and 1, when it came to 4th and 1, going
great
outside. Great play
calls. 3rd
calls.
and 5 when they're trying to milk the clock at the end.
Yeah.
They go 4 receivers wide and throw it out to Rachaad, and excellent blocking on the outside. A great play call, a great concept of play call, and great execution. And that's something that we're starting to see from this team. They execute in the winning moments when you got to have that 3rd down play. Last week it was a 3rd and 10 to finish the game. They execute a great outplay to Chris Godwin. So they're doing a lot of things right.
Yeah.
This game was probably tighter than it needed to be.
Agree.
The Bucs were only 1 for 4 in the red zone in terms of efficiency. Got to get better there. But in total, these are 2 really good weeks of mistake-free football for the most part.
Let's
really
go out
stuff.
to our buddy here. Let's go out to Eric. Eric, welcome to the Sports Web live here on the J.P. Peterson Show. What do you have to say about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers today after they go to 2-0 over the Chicago Bears 27-17? Go.
What's up, Peter Brook?
What's going on? What's going on, buddy?
I'm ready for them damn Eagles.
Ready for those damn Eagles. I think
Already.
that's the attitude right now with a lot of Bucs fans. And, again, the national media looking at this team. You look at how they played the last 2 weeks. A lot of Bucs fans excited about that Eagles
and
matchup.
Our house too, and our house is about to be done. You know that the Eagles haven't beat Bucs. Bucs have beaten Eagles. Eagles haven't beaten the Bucs since 2012.
2012. Well, okay.
I'll take your word for
I'll
that.
take it. I thought the Bucs beat them. No. They beat them a couple. They beat them the Super Bowl year.
No.
Yes.
What I'm saying, Eagles have
not beaten the Bucs since 2012. Okay, I got you. We got you. All right. What other thoughts here, Eric?
You know what? This Baker Mayfield. I think it's time to pay Baker Mayfield.
Well, I think we're. I don't know if we're there yet, Eric. Great call, man.
It's funny. I see,
yes.
Mike had a great game today, and everybody was on. Pay the man.
Well, if he continues to have those type of performances,
he's $60 million.
But what was the big knock on Mike Evans throughout his career? The yak. He showed that today, not only with the 70-yard play there, but he had a little spin move, which was nice to see. And again, it certainly seems like JP, he has a chip on his shoulder. Of course, he's playing for a new contract. I understand where the fans are coming from because I'm the same way. But again, it's all about business. How much are the Bucs going to pay? They're going to go ahead and decide that. I'll let them. I'll have faith in that.
Let's enjoy this season,
right?
And
exactly.
Watching this team play,
right?
Instead of arguing about what's going to happen down the line and who's going to get paid.
I don't care about next year. I don't care about the future. Right?
Baker plays well. He's going to get paid.
Correct.
He's going to get paid.
Right. Baker's going to get paid. Mike Evans will get paid. And Jason Light, you trust. Again, you talk about the defense. Shaq Barrett. I think it's a great story. Great catch at the end. Basically, one-handed catch there. Takes it in. The whole defense is, they're pushing him into the end zone, and that was basically it for the day. Now, the beginning of the first half, DJ Moore, of course, big story. Carlton Davis being out of this game.
Yeah.
DJ Moore did have some big plays, but then they kind of cut it off in the second half, and then you saw him back there again. Jamel Dean kind of banged up, came back there. Not really a lot of big plays, so that's what you take out of this defense at the end of the day, right? I mean, not a lot of big plays. DJ Moore had an opportunity to make some big plays. He did, somewhat in the first half, and then they cut it off the second half. What were your thoughts about the defense defending DJ Moore?
Well, the first few plays, like I said, Todd Bowles will take the fault for that.
Take the
he
fault
put him
for
in
that.
a bad position by blitzing the safety. Then they did a much better job covering him up with a couple of different guys, understanding that he's the main threat.
Yeah.
So I think he finished, with 6 catches for 70-some yards.
Yeah.
But not a huge part of this game. And something else you're starting to see with Todd Bowles and Dave Canales, and you've seen it from Todd a lot, but from this team in general, is their adjustments in game have been really, really good. Justin Jefferson has a big fat first half in the first game, comes out and gets 2 catches in the second half.
Yeah.
Bucs offense, not so good in the first half, great adjustments, gets much better in the second half against Minnesota. I thought, the Bears go right down the field. People are like, oh my God, what's going to, I'm like, no, we'll be good. Well, they'll make adjustments here.
Right.
Justin Fields is who he is. And then talking to some of the Chicago media, they're very frustrated with him, and I can see why. He's a ball holder.
Holds the ball way too much, doesn't trust his eyes, doesn't trust his progressions. I mean, we talked about it, and again, you saw players wide open over the middle, and you got to hit those throws. And you talked about it. When the corner is playing back 10 yards, that's 7 yards. That's a gimme. You got to take that throw. You got to be decisive. He's not there yet.
From the press box, because you can't really see this, a lot when it's on TV, because
right.
It's
correct.
It's so cropped. But when Jamel Dean's playing 10 yards off of DJ Moore, and his first 3 steps are back, and that's when the Bucs had a lead. That's how you're going to play it,
right?
And he runs just a simple 7-yard out. That ball's got to be out of your hands, and he's just waiting for him to make his break. It's like, this is the NFL. Not at college, you can wait for guys to get open. Not in the NFL. You have to throw with anticipation. And there were so many times when I saw there were open throws for him to make if he was throwing with anticipation. But
sure.
He doesn't trust his eyes. He doesn't trust what he's seeing. There seems to be a lot of dysfunction between this coaching staff and Justin Fields. But
they didn't draft him.
Well, that's true. I was talking with Corey Long after the game. Is like, how are you not running 70 to 80% RPOs with Justin Fields? That's what he does.
Right.
That's where he puts pressure on the defense. If you're going to just sit him in shotgun and drop him back, you're not taking advantage of who he is.
Right.
You need to be RPO and zone reading him all day long.
Yeah.
And they don't do that. It's that team is definitely dysfunctional. Their offensive staff is not taking advantage of what Justin Fields does best.
Well, and they did some of that last year, but you saw at the beginning of the year they couldn't do that, and then they put all the weapons around them. So there's major questions.
It doesn't matter whether you put weapons around him.
Right.
You have to do what your quarterback is good at doing.
Yeah.
He's not a sit back in the pocket, read the defense kind of guy. He's a zone read, RPO, put the pressure on the defense. Either he's going to run it or throw it or pull it and keep them guessing. They did that maybe 20% of the time, when they should be doing it about 60, 70% of the time.
Yeah.
So that's their problem.
All right, guys, we're live here on the Sports Web on the JP Peterson Show. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with the great JP Peterson. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727.
Comments here.
Yeah, I was going to go to the comments here, but let's go to some of these comments here. Great win for the Bucs. Rays lost. You stand up there, comment on this. Everyone, thank you very much.
Did the Rays lose?
That is a great question. We need an update on that. So let's go ahead.
They were up 3-2 in the ninth.
Well, last time I checked, they were in extra innings 4-4.
Oh, God.
So there you go. Let's go out to Michael. Peter, what's up? What's up? Shaq saves Bulls. Crappy play calling.
What?
See, I'm not sure if that was crappy play calling. I thought Todd Bowles had a good day.
5-4-11.
So there you go. Disappointing, but the Rays did clinch a playoff spot because I believe Texas lost. So the Rays are going to be in the playoffs, but now
much tougher to win the division.
Yes, much tougher to win division. Absolutely. Okay, so
what's he saying? Bad calls?
Yeah,
by
bad
Todd
play
Bowles?
calling by Todd Bowles.
The first series, but I think he made up for it. He made the adjustments, so I'll take the adjustments over a bad first drive.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree. All right, let's keep on reading these comments. You know I'm right. I'm not going to read that. I have to see the Bucs perform against good teams. The teams they beat are both 0-2. Is that a fair assessment or is that unfair? Because it's like they always say, National Football League, not for long. You got to play your schedule.
Yeah.
Vikings, 13 wins last year. Not
Vikings
necessarily.
are a decent football team.
They're a decent football team. Bears.
but listen, anytime you get a win in the NFL,
right?
It's, don't apologize.
Right.
Are we sitting here saying the Bucs are the best team in the league? No. But most people said the Bucs weren't going to win. We're going to win 2 games the entire year, which of course
total.
We shut that down.
Right.
I think they're a much better football team. We've said from the very beginning they're going to compete in the NFC South. I think you're going to see them as a 9-10, maybe an 11-win team. We'll see where it goes. Don't forget, this is supposed to be the tougher part of the schedule.
Right.
We were thinking if they get 1-3, okay, still they've got a lot of young quarterbacks to play down the road in this division and the rest of the way. If they could get to 2-2, you'd be like, that's great. Now you want to be a little greedy. I think is what you want to see 3-1. You got the Eagles coming in here. The Eagles are a little. They look a little discombobulated.
They do.
They're running the football. Okay, great. But Jalen Hurts that passing game hasn't started to click like it should. I think the Bucs has a decent shot of beating Philadelphia. And then I believe they have the Saints after that. I don't know. No, they haven't beaten a team. Minnesota's going to win football games.
Yeah.
The Bears are going to win football games.
Yeah.
Maybe not a lot, but they're going to win some football games.
Jim, welcome to the Sports Web here on the JP Peterson Show. What do you have to say about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers being 2-0 today after their win over the Bears?
I think that rocks, man. We're going to do the real test next week when we play the Eagle Boys.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. I mean, again, you got Jalen Hurts. You got another mobile quarterback. All we heard, and I was one saying it, this Bucs defense has struggled versus mobile quarterbacks. Did a good job today of locking up Justin Fields. So can they do the same thing to Jalen Hurts? And again, you hope that Carlton Davis is healthy. I thought the secondary did a good job without him, but you got A.J. Brown, you got Devontae Smith. I mean, they had a plethora, Leo word, of weapons on that offense.
How did Shaq Barrett look today? I was driving and listening.
Shaq looked great, and Shaq has looked fantastic since the beginning of the season. We got a chance to talk to him after the game. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the show. He still has a very, very heavy heart, obviously, losing his daughter. But he said, today was a big day for him. Just that whole moment of being able to finish that game and the excitement from the other players. And I was told that on the broadcast, the camera was right in his face, and he gave a shout out to his baby girl. And he's a man of faith. He's a man of faith. There's tremendous faith. And when you see people go through trying times like this and lean on their faith, to me, it's incredibly inspirational.
It is.
And just to hear him talk about that today, I thought was incredibly inspirational. And there's people. Many of us have gone through these types of tragedies, and to see someone in such a public eye to handle this with such class and try to turn it into a positive by raising money for programs to teach young kids how to swim. And, we have way too many drownings of youngsters, especially in the state of Florida. So the whole thing for Shaq, and just from a physical football standpoint, he looks fantastic. He looks great. There is no remnants of that Achilles injury whatsoever. He's getting off the football. He got called for offsides today.
Yes.
I don't know if it was offside.
I don't think it was. I think he was trying to get that JPP. Right. Yeah.
It was a pretty good jump.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Shaq is playing great. It's great to see.
Well, praise God. I'm glad
That's right.
His mind
absolutely.
And
you're rooting. You're rooting, Jim. You're rooting for Shaq Barrett. I think the fan base right now is rooting for Shaq Barrett, right? Because he's coming off an injury, and then of course the personal stuff, which is major for him. And for him to play at the level he's playing at right now is pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, he's doing good.
All right, what else, Jim?
I'm glad he's back.
I'm glad he's back too. Did you like that defensive performance today? 6 sacks, JTS with 2 of them. Vita Vea had 1 at the end of the game to kind of seal it, if you will. What did you like about that defense today?
I'm glad they showed up, man. I said Tampa Bay defense, we know, man.
That's it. That's it.
I want to see what they're going to do against the Eagles. We're going to shut them down. We're going to get
We'll see.
We'll see, my friend. Monday Night Football. Jim, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you. As always, read this comment. Mike says, and big-time Gator fan, by the way, so he's excited after they defeated Tennessee.
Nice job, Gators.
Congratulations to Gator fans. Defense was lights out. Bucs offense was a little conservative entering the fourth quarter, but aside from that, they were electric. Shaq's pick 6 was a sigh of relief. Defense played great. Baker balled out. Did he get over 300 yards, or was he at 299? 317.
317, yeah.
By the way, according to Paul Stewart of BuckPower.com, who is the unofficial historian of the Bucs, most likely will be a historian of the Bucs one of these days, 18-time a Bucs quarterback has thrown for 300 yards. There you go.
Just the 18th time?
18th time, yes.
Just the 18th time?
That's what he was telling
Bucs
me.
history?
Yes, that's what he was telling me, yes.
Oh my
yes,
God.
that doesn't seem right, does it? But
No,
it is.
I
Maybe you have to check that. That's what Paul
have
said.
to check that. I think Jameis threw for 300 about 18 times.
He threw about 18 interceptions. O-line
Along
needs to
with
clean
300
up the
picks.
penalties. They killed 3 drives today.
Yeah.
Happy we won. I mean, we talked about this also. Luke Gedeke.
Number 67.
Yep.
Drive killing holding penalty, and then a drive killing false start when you're in the 4-minute offense. When you're in the 4-minute offense and you can't really take chances to throw the ball down the field, or you don't want to, when you get 1st and 15, it kills you.
Yeah.
And and obviously 1st and 20 kills you as well. You can't, those are, this is starting to be an issue with Luke Gedeke.
And you hear 67, you automatically think, and I was thinking of this, Kenyatta Walker, especially when he played Julian Peppers back then. But you're exactly right. And it kills it. It kills the momentum of the offense. When you get that type of penalty, whether it's 5-10 yards back, and Mike Evans picks up a holding penalty saying he didn't hold. I mean, you can clearly see he held. He went to the Donovan Smith school of holding with that. It just kills. It absolutely kills there. So we got that one. Okay. All right. I'll go and read the comments. You go ahead. Yeah, I'll get these comments. Peter Blake, wear your shades and visor. Good job, folks. Should have brought it. Thanks a lot, Uncle D. Tim Haynes says, great win, not beating themselves.
Yep.
Dave, JP and Peter are the new Batman and Robin of Bucs coverage. Keep it up, guys. Love it. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you. Yaya with the big hit at the end of the game.
How about Yaya?
Yaya Diaby.
Yeah.
That is my guy right there, number 0.
I'll just tell you, like this defense, somebody mentioned earlier that looks a lot like, or something like the 2000 defense, 2002 defense. Obviously, there's not 4 Hall of Famers on this defense.
Sure.
I don't think.
Sure.
But they fly around. I just want to tell you, just with the naked eye, watching the speed of this defense, they close in a hurry. They rally to the ball. Just from a physical standpoint, they bring the wood. I mean, Devin White is running and playing hard. Levante David. You saw some really big
Winfield
hits.
Jr. with the big time hit, with the guy
yeah.
trying to catch the ball, secure the ball, comes in, knocks the ball out. Instead of trying to go for a big hit, helmet to helmet shot.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
This defense,
Yes.
I thought they'd be good this year. And you mentioned without Carlton Davis, their best cover corner did not play today, and they still shut down the Bears. So that's a big deal.
That's a big deal. That's
I think this defense,
major deal.
I said they had a chance to be a top 5 defense. I think they have a real good chance to be a top. And when you have a top 5 defense and you just have an average offense, you're a playoff team.
That's it.
You're a playoff team.
That's it.
I think this offense could be better than average.
And maybe the offense isn't, as exciting or has all, the fireworks that previous offenses have, but here's what they do. Took care of the ball. Yep. No turnovers once again.
Second straight week.
No sacks by the offensive line. We talked about that with Baker escaping a lot of that. But on top of that, I mean, again, the balance of this offense is the key. When you have balance of the offense, then basically the defense can't game plan for what you're going to do. Furthermore, it takes the pressure off of your quarterback because you're not getting into a situation where you have to throw the ball over 40 times a game, 50 times a game, 60 times a game,
here's
like
another
previous
winning edge.
Yes.
Jake Camarda.
Oh my gosh.
Camarda hit
punt god.
80 yards in the air.
Yes.
80 yards in the air, 72 total. His net average was 48 yards. That's in a game like this and the way the Bucs play football, that's a winning edge. Shout out to Jake Camarda.
Absolutely. We saw that. 72 yards on the official, not getting into the end zone. And it's important because when the punter does that, it puts your defense in a great situation, and you had a punt there.
And by the way, another one to the 7-yard line at the end to I think it was 2:40 left in the game. So now the Bears got to go.
Yeah. All right.
A long way.
A long way. And you know what? You love that game plan because of what Justin Fields showed that he couldn't do today, which is throw from the pocket consistently. All right. Baker woke up feeling dangerous. Facebook user, go Bucs, go Bucs. Milo, JP knows football. He does know football. That's why we got a show here 5 days a week from 10 to noon. Zach says, as Coach Cooper for the Bolts would say, Baker Mayfield is a gamer. How he can extend the
Bolts,
play.
By the way, we're starting up.
Go Bolts, absolutely. All right, well, keep on reading these comments. This feels like 2020 bucks. I don't know if I'm ready to say that. Can't pay everyone, says Christopher Cole.
Yep.
The Jason Light era continues. Sitten says, go Bucks. Facebook user, Jalen Hurts, same as Justin Fields. Agree with that? I think that's
No,
a little bit unfair.
Jalen Hurts
a little bit unfair.
He's a lot better than Justin Fields, and I think, but let's remember, the Eagles lost both of their coordinators, and they've struggled a little bit. Shane Steichen was his offensive coordinator. I really thought he knew how to get the best out of Jalen Hurts. He's gone now, so that's going to be a little bit of a kind of a getting to know each other deal. So maybe this is a good time to catch the Eagles when maybe they haven't really hit their offensive stride. So
that's a good point. And I really thought, coming into the year, the Eagles were not only the class of the NFC, but also improved from last year. We shall see.
Talent-wise, they have.
Yes.
But, bringing in 2 new coordinators.
That's different.
Yeah.
That's definitely
an adjustment
period. Absolutely. All right, let's go out to Christopher Cole. Bears should have drafted a quarterback with the first pick last year. They may do it this year if it continues. Mike Evans holding call. I'm right. Bears are a basement team. Ben says awesome moment for Shaq. Absolutely. How about that dub, JC? Jeremy Lowe, JP saying,
what's up, Jeremy?
Bucs defense bringing the heat. Let's see here. Enjoyable David Film movie reviews. Thank you, JP, for honest, real sports reporting. Absolutely. Pick 6 was amazing. A good game, but play calling got too conservative in the fourth quarter.
Let me address that.
Yes, go ahead. Go for that.
Look, you got a 10-point lead. Your defense is playing well. There is no reason to put the ball in danger.
Yeah.
And so I get it. You don't. It did get a little conservative, but first of all, you're running the football. You're taking time off the clock. I think Bowles felt like his defense was not going to give up any points.
Right.
Yes, they did have the one drive, couple of plays in there you'd want to have back. But I think he knew that you're not going to lose this game if you play conservative offensively and you make them drive the length of the field for 2 touchdowns to win it. So I get it, but that's good game management. I've been a critic of, Todd Bowles' game management. He's managed these 2 games perfectly.
Yeah, and
perfectly. Went for it on 4th down when he should have today.
Right.
4th and 2, great play call. Rashad White on the sweep. They get it done. Didn't go for it on another 4th down, which I thought was the right call as well in that situation.
Right.
Love what Todd Bowles is doing in terms of game management.
And I tell you right now, Christian Etienne, once again, coming up big. Another turnover for that kid. Again, without Carlton Davis comes up big with that. All right, let's see here. As the lawnmowers are out, so we may have to get out of here just a little bit. We're going to beat the Eagles. Nick says, good win, but the offense got way too conservative, way too early in the second half.
I'm okay with that.
Mike says, 67-76 in reverse, Donovan Smith. Facebook user Jameis Winston had 27 games with 300 yards. So maybe I misread that statistic.
Because I know my man ain't going to be wrong with
that. Yeah, maybe I misread that. All right, defense looked good, offense looked good, but not bad at all today. Jim says, pay Mike Evans. Keith.
How much?
Pay Mike. I mean, that's the whole big-time question, and even he has a big-time question about it. How much do you pay?
Everybody wants to pay Mike Evans. If the Bucs were in good salary cap situation, they could pay Mike Evans. They're not. Be patient. Let's see how this year goes. You got good young players that you can lean on. That means you don't have to go out in free agency and get other players. So the timing is not right to pay Mike. The timing will be right after this season. We'll know what we need to pay the quarterback. We'll know what we got going forward. So chill. Mike's not going anywhere yet. Don't worry about it. We've got lots of time for this.
Lots of time for this. All right, let's go out to the phone lines here. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're live here on the Sports Web on the JP Peterson Show. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with JP Peterson. What do you got?
Hey, buddy. My name is Corey. I'm from Virginia. How you doing today?
Doing great, Corey.
Virginia?
Corey from Virginia. Again, worldwide here on the Sports Web on the JP Peterson Show. So what's on your mind?
Man, another great win. Great performance from Baker. No turnovers again today. The defense is, the secondary is a little banged up, but hey, we still walked away with the dub. Shaq Barrett did all with that interception for the touchdown. I'm in awe right now. I'm liking the way the Bucs are playing right now.
Yeah, it's good football, man. We've talked a lot about everything in this game. We're kind of wrapping it up here, but I think something that I can give you from just being around the team that maybe you can't get from watching on TV. This team has a great vibe. It's got a great togetherness vibe. They love each other. They play for each other. It's much different than the vibe of last year. If they can stay healthy, this defense is going to be lights out. I think the offense is going to continue to get better and better. You saw Rashad White step it up today. That was big. That was big. You can get a running back, a bell cow running back that could do the things that he did today to complement your passing game. You got a mobile quarterback who's not turning the ball over. And everybody, Baker Mayfield's more turnovers than anybody else since he came into the league. I'm like, go look inside the numbers. His turnover-worthy plays have been about average, all right? He played for a shitty team in Cleveland.
How many offensive coordinators? He's had the most offensive coordinators of any quarterback in the National Football League. So once again, it comes down to coaching and consistency, and right now you're getting that from Baker Mayfield. What else, Corey?
Man, I just, like I said, man, I just hope our secondary comes back stronger next week, because I know we had Carlton Davis and a few other guys out, but our rookie cornerback or safety, he got another interception today, which was great.
Zion McCullum almost had a pick, but he played it really, really well. I could see some growth in him. I talked to him in the preseason. He had an opportunity to make some plays. He said, I've been too tentative at the moment of impact, you know? And he said, I'm not doing that anymore. I've got to be more aggressive, and I've seen him turn it up and be more aggressive. So that's when you get that click in where you can't be afraid to make a mistake. Go make the play. Go make the freaking play. And I think he's got that now. And that kid's got talent.
He's got something.
6'2", runs a 4.4. He's long. He could become a great corner if he learns how to play the game. Yeah. So that's another step for that young man.
Agree. Absolutely agree.
And just one more thing before I let you guys go. Our defensive front, like, how many sacks did we have today? Like, at least I've seen 5 or 6.
Yeah,
six sacks. Okay.
Yeah, awesome. 6 sacks, awesome. And probably had another 2 sacks that could have been sacks. They that defensive front is balling out. They are fast. They are big. They play the run well, and they get pressure. That's good.
Well, I appreciate the phone call, guys. Y'all have a good evening.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff there. We'll continue to read these comments, and then we'll get out of here for the night as they're just clearing off the field here. So let's see. JP Johnson, we want to see Marquise Watts play number 58. I don't necessarily see that happening.
It'll happen.
It'll happen a bit.
League, bro.
Big professional Mike Evans. Okay, we read that. Robert says, more fun than watching the end of the FSU game yesterday. I needed that Bucs W. Woo. I mean, touch upon that really quick. I was watching the same thing. I was in the press box. I couldn't believe my eyes. Yeah. But you said it best. I mean, couple silly turnovers there.
Typical trap game. Yeah. The red bandana game for Boston College. You're going to get their best effort, a full stadium, emotion. And then FSU just kind of took their foot off the gas. They were dominating the game, made a couple of really stupid plays. They're thinking about Clemson. It's all good. They're a good football team. We'll see next week at Clemson.
Yeah, we'll definitely see next week because that's the big-time test. Olaf from Costa Rica, thank you very much. Appreciate you tuning in. Vea is playing more snaps than usual, better condition. Yeah.
Absolutely, and we need him to play more snaps. Absolutely.
All right, and let's go out to Travis Faley of Rocket Sports and Entertainment, which, by the way, we love to have him today help us with the camera, but we did pretty good ourselves. Great show, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks. Your final thoughts here on the Bucs' big victory over the Chicago Bears, going 2-0, 27-17.
Listen, it's a 10-point win. Yeah. It should have been more than that, to be quite honest. They dominated the game today. They were in control of the game the entire way. The defense looks fast. They look good. They look together. Offense, I think, has been extremely impressive. You don't make mistakes in this league. You win a lot of football games. The Bucs are doing a lot of good things. They're doing a lot of right things. They've got talent. They've got just good mojo. I'll be very interested to see how they play against what I think is the best team in the NFC still, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles next week.
Absolutely. We'll get you ready for that. Definitely tune in tomorrow from 5 to 7 on the J.P. Peterson Show.
And 10 to 12.
Yes, 10 to 12. You'll be doing the show. I'll be there. We'll have the remote once again, and we'll see what happens next
come by
week.
The patio tomorrow. Yes. 421 South McDill. 5 to 7 for our Monday Night Football party. We'll be doing this whole spiel again.
This whole thing again. All right. For the great J.P. Peterson, I'm your host, Peter Blake. Bucs win 27-17 over the Chicago Bears to go 2-0. We always say 3 things, J.P. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And, of course, for Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans, it's your time. Have a great night. And, of course, as always, go Bucs.
Good job, brother.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Good job. Yeah. Well done.
Yes, sir.
Circulate this.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and